Greetings everyone, Joseph James here with your nightly newsletter brought to you by theschooloftrade.com. Today was June 16th, 2009. Guys, we're getting into options expiration week this week. Today was only Tuesday, so we're not knee deep in that chop and slop that comes with Wacky Wednesday, Thirsty Thursday, and of course OPEX Friday. We'll get into that later on in the week. And before we get into our live trade room results, let's talk about our term of the day. Term of the day today is reading the tape. Now, reading the tape, obviously, guys, one of those very popular topics that is a little bit more of a technique more than a science, right? It can be very difficult to teach sometimes because ultimately it requires a great deal of screen time, right? A quality trader who understands how to read the tape has usually spent a good amount of time looking at a time and sales window or a ticker tape. And of course, let's talk more about what reading the tape means. Well, what is the tape? It's the study of raw price action as it comes across your time and sales window. It's considered the purest form of the market. In fact, we go a little bit further to say that every opinion, every bias, every idea that is floating around out there in the market is ultimately solidified or validated with price. So price action or reading the tape is considered the purest form of the market. Okay, the price is the truth. It is the truth of everything that is reacting in the markets, causing fear, greed, and the chaos that comes with it. Now, in the 1870s, of course, you guys all have seen, old video of this. It used the old ticker tape where it was spitting out these paper, kind of receipts, this ticker tape, right? And that would report the latest bid and ask and the trade information. Of course, just like we use it today, they used it back then to make educated trading decisions. It was a very simple idea, and we still use the same principles today electronically. So how was it used? How do we use this reading of the tape? Well, we read the tape ultimately to predict short-term price changes by examining price and volume information as it comes across the ticker tape. So we look at the size of the orders, we look at the speed of the orders, we look at the placement in the market, right? Whether or not they're being sold at the bid or below the ask. All right, so we use that information to predict short-term price changes, right? As intraday scalpers, right? People who are looking to get in and out of the market multiple times every day. We, of course, use this throughout the day when we're trading, when we're examining the markets. And it's mostly effectively used at potential turning points in the market to gauge overall market sentiment to help determine the future direction of price. What I mean by that is that we look at the time and sales window at major levels of support and resistance. So, for example, an easy technique to use reading the tape would be at the high of day. When price trades up into the high of day, I'm going to start paying close attention to my time and sales window, begin reading the tape. If I see an increase in buyers on my time and sales window, in fact, if I see lots of small buyers or larger sized orders coming across the buy side, or usually it's going to be the green color on my time and sales window, then I know that the overall sentiment in the market, right, this is a gauge of sentiment in the market, that overall sentiment in the market is going to be bullish at that high of day. Of course, the opposite side, if we saw a tremendous increase in selling opportunity, right, a lot of sellers jump on the tape at that high of day, we would expect clearly that the high of day would hold. Okay, that would be a bearish signal. So we use it to gauge sentiment at specific potential turning points, such as a high of day, or maybe a value area high or a value area low. Traders use this to see confirmation of a potential trade setup or a heads up that a setup should be avoided. So, as you guys know, if you guys come join us tomorrow morning in our live trade room, we're going to use this technique of reading the tape, most importantly, right before we enter the market. And of course, as you guys know, we look for what I call the waterfall in price. I want to see a steady flow of price coming across my time and sales window. And of course, that's why we look for a confirmation of that waterfall in price when we're looking to take a potential trade. And if we don't see that, if we see price very slow and sluggish, then it gives us that heads up that we possibly should be avoiding this trade. It's also used as an indicator of when momentum has dried up, signaling a trader to take profits or to limit his or her risk on a position. We see this all the time, guys, in our trades. When we are trailing our final position in each trade, once we've taken our first two profit targets off the market, we then look at the time and sales window, right? We look to see where the buyers are, where the sellers are. And of course, one of the rules that we go over is that when we see price stop, that gives us a signal to get out of that trade, right? Especially if we don't have our trade protected with an initial stop. So we use price action and the technique of reading the tape, especially to tell us when we may want to exit a trade early or when we may have seen the current move exhausted and we may want to take our profits and get out of the way. Guys, this is called reading the tape, and for more information about reading the tape, come join us tomorrow morning in our live trade room, and we go over this stuff all day long. We use this technique of reading the tape or the time and sales window throughout the entire day, so we'd love to share more information with you. Let's talk about that live trade room. It opens up at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time. It's available to our trial members. We'll give you 3 free weeks. And lifetime members, of course, lifetime membership, one initial membership fee, no monthly fees, even to join the chat room every day. Comes with all your indicators, your charts, and your market data. Now, every morning in our live trade room, we have 3 very simple jobs. First job is to identify. I want to identify the news events and the type of market that we're seeing. So I check my blog to grab the news events for the day, and then I look at my charts. I'm going to identify my price action as being a trending or a sideways market, and then we have a certain, couple steps that we follow to adjust accordingly. Because job number two is to adjust to what we've seen. If we if we identify the market correctly, we then want to then go in and define our windows of opportunity. That is where our news events are positioned that day. We want to define our brackets and our trade zones. So ultimately, where our highs and our lows were placed in the identification process. And then if we do jobs number 1 and 2 correctly, well then, of course, job number 3 becomes very easy, and that is to execute our trades. We practice patience and discipline to wait for price to come to us. And guys, we always tell you right in the room, let your rules do the trading. Stop thinking so much. Settle down, let your rules do the trading, because your rules will help you navigate through these markets as they change on us. All right, let's take a look at a couple trades that we took this morning on the Euro futures contract. Symbol on this is 6E, and this is $12.50 USD per tick. Now, guys, we saw another $1,000 day here in the trade room this morning, so another very profitable day. Last week we had 4 out of 5 days were $1,000 days in the trade room. It was about 700 and change yesterday, and a $1,000 day today. And of course, the euro really made that possible. As you guys can see, I'll zoom in here for you. We had a combination of wave patterns and 2-step patterns. Those are trend continuation and counter trend trades. 2-step pattern was our first trade of the day at 10 o'clock. We went long from 38.53. This got us initial 14 ticks. This is a 2-step pattern, so it's a counter trend trade. Now, as you guys can see, all this action ultimately happened within about an hour and 45 minutes. Very quick. We were able to get a bunch of money taken out of this market in a very small, tight trading range, as you guys can see. We were able to pull, over 50 ticks here out of this market in what appears to be a 50 tick range, right? So a very good job at being able to scalp this market in whatever it gave us. Second trade of the day, 10:37 a.m. was a wave pattern. This, of course, is a trend continuation pattern on a breakout to the upside. We got long at 71, 23 ticks on a winner here. Next trade, 11 o'clock this morning, 11:02 a.m. 2-step pattern. This again, counter trend. This is a failure pattern. Long at 88, even 29 ticks on this winner there. And to finish up the morning, our 2-step pattern. Small winner here, 16 ticks, 11:39 this morning, and this was long from 38.96. And again, that 2-step pattern, as you guys know, is a counter trend pattern. It's a failure of our wave pattern. And for more information about these setups, guys, check out our beginner's course. The beginner's course is priced now at $20. It's a great investment. And of course, that beginner's course is going to be, it's structured specifically for our free trial members. So if you're just joining us as a free trial, it's going to be a wonderful opportunity to get your feet on a firm foundation of knowledge to come make the most of it. Or of course, come join us tomorrow morning in our live trade room. Let's recap real quick, guys. That live trade room we keep talking about opens up at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time, so come out and join us tomorrow morning. We trade 6 different markets. Of course, the E-minis will trade commodity futures such as gold, crude oil. We'll trade currency futures, the euro, the pound, the yen. All right, and we're going to give you live trade calls with our entries, targets, and stops. So you guys will know exactly when we're getting into the market, when we're out of the market, where our stops are, and we show you everything along the way, guys. Plenty of opportunity for questions. So bring your questions. I don't care what your level of experience, guys. We welcome your questions and your feedback. So bring them and let's participate with us tomorrow morning. You're going to see the market in a completely different way, and we'll give you 3 weeks to give it a try. For more information, send us an email, sales@schooloftrade.com. My name is Joseph James. Thanks for the time tonight. Hope you enjoyed the video. Stay tuned for more, and we'll see you in the live trade room tomorrow morning, 7:30 a.m., bright and early. Have a good one.